Rodimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael figure from the new Nickelodeon cartoon series. As you can see, Raphael comes obviously with his size, and he's the hothead and sharp sai expert. Other characters from the show. Whole bunch of ninja accessories in here. Very kind of cool. I love the packaging on here. Very small, very simple. Not too terribly bad. You got a lot of characters here on the back. You can check it out at nick.com/TMNT and of course playmatestoys.com. And then a little read up here says that tough, quick to act, and hot-tempered. Raphael is a powder keg ready to explode on unsuspecting enemies everywhere. The biggest of his mutant brothers, Raph has a why sneak around when you can bash some heads instead attitude. Master of the twin size, these three-pronged blades are the perfect reflection of their owner, sharp and to the point. Absolutely. I've always been a big fan of Raphael. He's always kind of been, like I said, the hothead. And definitely a figure or character that a lot of teenagers really kind of identify with. He doesn't like authority. And I'm absolutely loving this. Very cool looking packaging. Nothing, you know, spectacular, but very neat. Definitely interested about it. So let's get the guy open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Raphael open up and out of its packaging. And the very first thing that I noticed when I looked at this guy was just how Raphael looking this guy really is. I mean, everything about him just says Raph. Now, one of my biggest kind of nitpicks, I suppose, is I really wish that there was a way that they actually could have put the holster here in the front, very much like the original kind of vintage toys and how all the other kind of turtles had it when you compare it to previous versions of the Raphael toy. Now, one thing that I didn't do in my other videos was show you a real kind of up close look. And I really want to do that with this guy because the body and the sculpt on here is riddled with detail. First off, I mean, you can see like on even the top of his head, there's like a lot of scratches and stuff. On his neck, there's a lot of scratches throughout it. You got this big giant chunk taken out of the front of him. All these marks on his chest, just throughout the arms. Absolutely wonderful sculpt. Even the legs have it. Now, not all the turtles actually have this amount of detail. Only really Raphael has this much damage to him, and rightly so. I mean, he's always the one that's kind of getting in trouble. But all the turtles have individual molds that really kind of bring out those kind of heightened details, and I absolutely love that. And that face just is absolutely Raphael. So incredibly cool. Now, one thing that I want to kind of highlight for you here, on the side here, you can, well, that's a little separate, but you can see that the bodies are different when you actually look at the sides. When you actually look at like kind of the underarm area or where the armpit would be, each section is a little bit different. You can see his is a little bit wider. Donnie's has like this kind of indent where his arms can actually get closer to his body. Mikey's is obviously vastly different. And Leo's is a little bit different as well. That's so awesome. And one thing that I'm actually kind of noticing is that Raph is actually a little bit smaller than Donatello. You can definitely see it. And the actual package depicts Raph as being the biggest of all the turtles, and he's about the same height as Leo. Obviously he's definitely taller than Mikey, but that's definitely something that's weird that they make a point of actually mentioning. And then in terms of the figure scale, it really isn't the case at all, and you can definitely see that Donatello is a bigger figure. For a size comparison, here you see him next to the 2003 version of Raph, and then here's the CGI movie from TMNT, that version of him. Again, vast difference in terms of the color, and a big difference in terms of the size. The other thing that you're going to be noticing, other than this guy, a lot of the Ninja Turtle figures that we've gotten previously were really kind of stuck in these action poses, where this is really all you can really position him in. At least with the amount of articulation that this guy has, they've really kind of gotten away from that. And they kind of started doing that with the CGI movie figures, but I love that. And these aren't bad. I mean, they're really kind of cool, but again, you're kind of stuck with it in that position. This is so much nicer to be able to actually pose it in whichever kind of orientation you really want. But you can see you got the side holder here actually kind of on the side and on the side there, whereas his are right here. Now, there's no real way that you can actually, I mean, you kind of could, I guess, because these aren't part of the body. You could slide it down there, but you're risking breaking something. So that's just kind of a minor nitpick, I guess. That's something I really would have liked to have seen. And then for another size comparison, here's next to what I deem my vintage figure. This is the old school. I don't even know what year this is. 1992 mutating Raphael figure. Now obviously you see one of the big differences, he's got the R, this doesn't have it, and this is actually a figure that these ones don't have the third toe. The other ones actually kind of have a third toe, but it's on the back, like I said in a previous video, where that actually kind of works as his heel. This actually, he has a heel. And then one thing that I've actually kind of noticed rewatching some of the actual footage, the actual cartoons do have these guys having pupils, but the toys, much like the actual old toys that have come before them, they don't. They just have the white, unlike the CGI version, which did give it the pupils, but that's definitely a nice touch. Now, as I said, for his accessories, he does come with this size, which come around here and you just plug these into his hand, but his fingers are a little bit tough to kind of get him in there. You do have to kind of wedge them in there. Definitely do it from the bottom so that you don't break anything. But here you have the size, which are really very cool, very kind of thin and very authentic looking. I love the way that they look. But he also comes with a couple other accessories, as you see here. You got some one-sided size here and here. You got some throwing stars, and then you got some extra accessories right here, which is really kind of cool. But again, I'm going to leave these on here just because I only really need these. And that's really my favorite look for him. One thing that I'm actually kind of noticing, which kind of bugs me, I guess, the way that Raph is designed, like I showed you before, the armpit area, he can only put his arms down this far, which really kind of sucks. You can't bring it down. Now, I mean, and you can't even, well, if you rotate it around, it's going to go down a little bit more, but the arm's backwards. I mean, because obviously you can see that's the tricep. So you kind of have to bring these in, and that kind of sucks. I mean, it's not too bad, but I really wish you could actually bring them closer to the body. I know Donnie you can do that with. Mikey you can do that with. This just, the way that the design is on here, like I said, it doesn't have more of an indent down here to actually allow for this to go down more. But, as I said, that gives a little bit of a difference to the molds between this guy and the other figures. Now in terms of his articulation, head's on a ball joint, so a nice range of motion there. Pin and sockets here at the shoulders all the way around. Pin and socket at the elbow. Rotates at the wrist. Pin and socket here at the hip, so good range of motion whichever way you want to go, and same pin and socket joint here at the knee. So really great articulation. Posability is a little bit limited because the joints are they're not the best choice of joints, but you can actually do some pretty decent poses, I suppose, with them. Just kind of really depends. You're not going to get some super dramatic poses or anything like that. But generally speaking, I mean, all these turtle figures, I absolutely love them, and if you're going to get one, you have to get them all. You can't just have Mikey. You need to have Raph, Leo, and Donnie. Bottom line is, I love the way that these are looking. These absolutely give me kind of a vintage feel and really take me back. I love the looks of them. Very, very cool. And the more that I play with these guys, the more that I'm excited about the series. So, there you guys have them, Raphael. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, this has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.